Our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com. Pennsylvania woman faces charges for registering dead and fake voters. We're covering this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. Well, my name's Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours. Our top story today, Jim Hoff reports that a Pennsylvania woman faces charges for registering dead and fake voters. Listen to this. Well, Delaware County prosecutors announced charges Thursday against Jennifer Hill, a Collingdale woman accused of attempting to register dead and fake voters. Hill, a paid canvasser for the New Pennsylvania Project, a self-proclaimed nonpartisan group, launched in 2021, now faces 40 criminal counts, including 4 felony charges of forgery. Prosecutors allege that Hill submitted more than 300 voter registration forms through a state-provided app, with 129 of them deemed invalid. Among her fraudulent attempts, Hill reportedly tried to register 3 deceased individuals, including her own father, and even fabricated a voter using her grandmother's name, but with an altered birth date, the Philadelphia Inquirer reported. While no ballots were already cast from these fraudulent registrations, the case has reignited conservative calls for tighter voter registration laws and greater oversight, especially of groups funded or affiliated with Democratic initiatives. I can't say I'm totally surprised, given the egregious lack of integrity one finds in that particular party involved. One user wrote on X, the investigation led by the Delaware County District Attorney Jack Stolmeister, or Stolzheimer, represents the first voter fraud-related charges stemming from the 2024 election in the county. In addition, Hill, an 84-year-old man, Philip Moss, faces charges for double voting in Florida and Pennsylvania. Although Moss's actions resulted in one of the fraudulent ballots, the scale of Hill's attempted fraud has drawn the most attention. Let this pair of cases send a message out there that no matter how busy we are attentive to the signs of fraud. Jim Allen, the Delaware County election director, said directly. Now listen to exactly what he had to say, as this is pretty remarkable, reminding Americans that, look, it's not a time to get relaxed when it comes to preventing voter fraud. Listen.
And it works is she would use the app to go online and send in the information to the state to get somebody registered to vote. The state then requires certain pieces of information, one of which is your driver's license or your last 4 digits of your social security number. If they have that successfully, they can upload that information from the state databases, send it down to the county. The county, it's called a verified registration. The county, Jim's people then go and through and put your vote or your ward and precinct and all that information and actually issue you a card, a voter registration card. Some of them the state can't verify, and they send them down to our election office or whatever county it is, and those people then get contacted through what's called a HAVA letter. That's the Helping America Vote Act. Federal law was passed in 2002 after the 2000 election fiasco. That letter basically goes to that person saying, we can't verify this information, can you give us more? Jim's people, and Jim is one of the people, and I think Crystal, who know that some of these that were coming in from Ms. Hill's app were the same variations of the same name. Again, this person who died in 2011, she tried multiple times to register that individual to read, using either different spellings or different addresses or different email accounts. They noticed these clusters of these fake votes fake registrations. And they immediately contacted Tanner and Doug, and we began an investigation. That has led to the charges today. We're being charged with, again, 4 counts of registering people, including her dead father and a person who died in the house she currently lived in 2011, that she notified authorities that he was dead in that house. She knowingly registered dead people or attempted to register dead people through the state system. She did register a fraudulent person, and my understanding is this is sort of a gap in the system where by putting in no date of birth and no social security number, is that right, Doug?
Right, but the fraud was there. And while people say, look, there's no fraud, it didn't happen, you don't have to worry about it, no matter what you try to do, you can't prevent a certain level of fraud, then they deny that it matters, and they say it's insignificant, and eventually we find out we have all types of fraud, but people just don't care to, clarify the fact that this is a very serious issue and a pressing one of our age. Now, that being said, it is quite an interesting time. Christmas is just around the corner. And I want to remind you guys that we've been told our entire lives that aging is something we can't avoid, that wrinkle creams are going to be the easiest way to look younger. But now there's one doctor that says that's old news. Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, claims that most wrinkle fixes are just glorified moisturizers, barely making a dent on your appearance, and some could even be harmful. Dr. Lake has shifted his focus to a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough. Now, some call it Photoshop for your face, but his clients have dubbed it the Age Rewinder method, taking years off of your appearance in under 2 minutes. He's released a free step-by-step video to the public, which now has gone viral with over 2.3 million views. People are raving about looking decades younger. One viewer said, "This is the best result of anything I've ever used. I cannot believe how well this works." We want to see for yourself? Well, go to bhmd1.com/pundit or click the link in the description below. Dr. Lake asked that if the video helps you look and feel younger, to share it with your friends. Let's help as many reclaim their youthful look as possible. Visit bhmd1.com/pundit now. That's bhmd1.com/pundit to find out how to get rid of your wrinkles and to look younger once again. Now, that being said, in other news, after lying that Trump wants to cut Social Security, Dems rushed bill that will cut benefits. They need Biden to sign before Trump arrives, according to Samuel Short of the Western Journal. Check this out. Democrats have been caught doing the very thing that they've been accusing President-elect Donald Trump of doing, cutting Social Security. On Wednesday, the UK Daily Mail reports Senate Democrats are trying to push through a Social Security reform bill that they want to see signed by President Joe Biden before Trump takes office. The Social Security Fairness Act aims to repeal provisions that reduce payouts to the public sector employees like police officers, firefighters, teachers, and post workers. The Mail cites that the Committee for a Responsible Budget in the article, and that a group states that this would make Social Security insolvent 6 months earlier than current projections by giving increased benefits to 3 million people who paid into their state or local pensions that did not pay Social Security. The CRFB also states that as a result, we estimate a typical dual income couple retiring in 2023 would see their benefits cut by an additional $25,000 over their lifetime. The think tank says that if Social Security runs out of money under the bill, as much as $400,000 in benefits would be lost for the average couple. CRFB states that the cost for the bill over the next decade, citing the Congressional Budget Office, would be $190 billion. After already passing the House of Representatives, the push for a vote in the Senate comes from Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer, while Republican Senator Rand Paul wants to add to the amendment to the bill, gradually raising the age of retirement to 70. Paul spoke on the matter to The Hill. It speeds the bankruptcy of Social Security. Social Security is due to go bankrupt in 2034. This will speed it up by a year or so. It's $200 billion added to a program that is already short of money. He said, following up by commenting, if you're going to add to it, mandate by expanding it, you should pay for it. Schumer tried to pose an effort on X in the most altruistic fashion last week, saying that it would ensure Americans are not erroneously denied their well-earned Social Security benefits simply because they chose at some point to work in their careers in public service. Despite this appearing to be an expansion of Social Security, it is a short-term payoff for some that will ultimately be incredibly costly. We have heard repeatedly from Democrats that it is Trump who goes after Social Security, not them. Days before Election Day, Vice President Kamala Harris posted to X accusing Trump of just that. Kamala Harris said that Trump tried to cut Medicare and Social Security every year that he was president. She also said, I believe that when people have worked hard their entire life, they deserve to retire with benefits that they've earned. More importantly, she went on to announce Biden gave similar statements in a press release from May, saying that Medicare is stronger and Social Security remains strong. As long as I am president, I will keep strengthening Social Security and Medicare and protecting them from Republicans' attempts to cut benefits Americans have earned. In July, Democrat Representative Hakeem Jeffries invoked the boogeyman that is Project 2025 to say that Trump would be the end of Social Security. He claimed that Trump's Project 2025 will end Social Security and Medicare as we know it. Despite looking to address excessive government spending, Trump stated earlier this month that we are not touching Social Security. Under Democrats' bills, cuts will be made and insolvency will be sped up. It is unclear whether Democrats actually think that it is helpful or if they just want to create a massive disaster later, perhaps for the president-elect to deal with. That all being said, there may be a far less conspiratorial explanation for this latest move for the Democrats. Hanlon's Razor states that we shouldn't attribute to malice what is adequately explained by stupidity. This article appeared originally in the Western Journal. Now, of course, look, it's going to go insolvent, whether you like it or not. I mean, our government is bankrupt, and we're spending money we don't have. It's entirely a scam. That being said, Mike LeChance reported that a based actress, Justine Bateman, celebrates the end of mob mentality of the last 4 years. Never want to go through anything like that again. Listen to this. Justine Bateman, the increasingly based actress, best known for the hit 1980s show Family Ties, recently appeared on the Megyn Kelly podcast and celebrated the end of the last 4 years, which she currently correctly slams over the leftist mob mentality and cancel culture. Bateman made similar comments on the Jesse Waters show shortly after the election, but with Megyn, she had more time to expand on her thoughts. She refers to the last 4 years of the revenge of the hall monitors and decries the fact that people were punished or had their lives ruined for asking even the most basic questions. She is right about all of this. We have the original report for you from Megyn Kelly. It's a very interesting interaction. Check this out, where she explains, look, we're very, very happy with the position that we're in as a country, and we're not going back.
Let's just spend a minute on your critiques of these videos, because it was such a clever way, I thought, to handle the insanity that broke out when Trump won. You approached it very forensically as a filmmaker and just kind of had some issues with the direction and the editorial choices by some of these people having the meltdowns. All right, let's watch one, which is, I think we've got SOT 2, where this is a woman, we think, with a half-shaved head. Let's watch.
Your kids need to hear you discussing trans and queer topics. You will be hearing about trans athletes, and you need to set the record straight on the percentage of trans people in the United States and the percentage of competitive trans athletes. It's super important to stick with the facts. Let's stop the witch hunt on trans people.
So for the listening audience, that woman literally has like a center part and a long head of hair on one side and a shaved head on the other side. Go ahead, Justine, your thoughts on her approach to her messaging.
Oh, that one. Oh, geez, I'd have to bring up my critique to really do it justice. But I think in that critique, I went into, gosh, if somebody could bring it up, that'd be...
I have it here. It was
okay,
actually
you
amazing.
You read it.
You wrote, this piece introduces many questions.
You should pull up one of the ones that where they were crying and like having a fucking fit. Anyway, but yeah, sorry, go ahead. Read the
Okay.
half shaved head.
You write, this piece introduces many questions. As part of the I'm shaving my head because I don't like the election outcome movement, this character has gone only halfway, yet no reason is given. The viewer is left wondering, is this a new movement? Does this represent those who are ambivalent about the election outcome? Or is the hairstyle of those who sympathize with both sides, or someone who changed their mind midway? The setting is refreshingly not in a car, and yet we wonder why, or what is beyond the fence? There's a fence behind her. What is it blocking? Is it blocking an illegally narrow walkway between two houses? Something else? The bright open space above the actress's head also causes the audience to wonder, is this an escape hatch for the main character, for us? The camera is appropriately elevated, but it's unnecessarily unsteady. Tripods can be delivered to you the next day through Amazon. The editing is unfortunate because this is a short piece. All the dialogue can be captured at once. Another take should have been done. Fiend. End. Meaning that is brilliant. So well done. What gave you the idea?
The ones that were right after the election were absolutely. I mean, the level of emotion that was released. It was. My first thought when I looked at them was, man, we've had this crying genre in. Kind of online post for like 6 years. And as a filmmaker, I always wonder, were you crying really hard? I mean, something was really upsetting to you, and not just about the election, but I mean, this is happening prior. You were crying really hard about something that truly upset you. And then the thought entered your head that, oh, I've got to find my phone. Where's my phone? I've got to record this. And then you
put
held
my tears
the phone
on camera.
I've got to record myself crying. And then you recorded yourself. Maybe you did a couple of takes and then you watched it back and then you edited it. And then you decided that it should be distributed internationally and you posted it online. Or were you wondering what to post next on your social media account? Should it be an unboxing video? Should it be a visit to your doctor's office? What are you going to do to keep the audience there? And you go, I know, I'll do a crying video. And you post it and you set your phone up or your camera and then made yourself cry. It had to have gone one way or the other. And then I thought, my second thought was, my God, we are so many years into this creator economy and still the quality looks this shitty. How?
Yeah, and I agree with that, actually. The fact that we're still having to deal with this typical progressive mindset. I feel like the studio is still pretty nice, though, right? I think this is, for being a small little independent studio and producing out of here in Palm Beach County in Florida, I feel like we're doing pretty damn good for the most part, because you don't need much in order to get ahead in this life. Now, obviously, many of you guys know something very important. You know, we do live in a crazy era of advanced human history, and there's never been more medical breakthroughs than there are right now. So why are millions of Americans more unhealthy and overweight than they've ever been? Well, according to the U.S. board-certified physician and expert nutritionist Dr. Amy Lee, one of the main reasons is 3 harmful foods that are being passed off as health foods all over the country. And wait till you hear this. Because these foods can cause weight gain, clog your digestive tract, deplete your energy, and wreck your skin, they are banned in other countries. Yet, shockingly, they're still legal in the U.S. And it's time someone shined a light on what they are. Dr. Amy Lee does just that while explaining how the side effects from these foods are wreaking havoc on the health of millions of Americans. The great news is that it's easy to stop and reverse this damage by simply learning which foods to avoid and how to spot them. And by doing so, you can experience easier weight loss, smooth digestion, and vibrant energy. To find out these 3 fake health foods, go to 3harmfulfoods.com/pundit. That's the number 3, HARMFULFOODS.com/PUNDIT. That's the number 3, harmfulfoods.com/pundit, or click on the link in the description below. After years of extensive study, Lee put together a revealing video that you need to watch right now at the number 3, HARMFULFOODS.com/PUNDIT. Links in the screen and on the screen and in the description. Check it out today. Now, that being said, interestingly enough, Hohmann, who is the world's most dangerous terrorist organization? Listen to this. Well, it turns out that who is the world's most dangerous terrorist organization? Look no further than the grand accuser and the one who sits high and mighty in the judgment of others. Earlier this week, Ukraine openly boasted of assassinating a top Russian general outside his home in Moscow. Lieutenant General Igor Kirilov was killed when a bomb attached to a scooter was detonated remotely upon leaving his apartment early in the morning. One of his assistants was also killed. Russia on Tuesday criticized Ukraine's Western allies, accusing them of being complicit in the general's murder. It was easy to come to this conclusion after no one in any official capacity in Washington, London, Paris, or Berlin condemned the killing. Western politicians and media love to characterize Putin as a dictator of the worst sort, a KGB thug. I hear a lot of conservative pundits using this same language, and I find it laughable in its hypocrisy. When has Putin ever reached across the Atlantic and assassinated an American general on U.S. soil? I don't recall ever reading such an incident, but if I have a senior moment here, please someone refresh my memory. Now, Moscow's foreign ministry spokesperson, Maria Zakharova, accused the West in a Telegram post of approval for war crimes by fighters of the Kiev regime, and said that all those who welcome terrorist attacks or deliberately hush them up are accomplices. They also harkens back to the past reports exposing a CIA program to train and assist Ukraine's special forces and intelligence in sabotage and cross-border targeted assassinations. Lest you think that this is just a clever piece of Russian propaganda, I think again, it's been reported even by a prominent member of the American deep state media. Last year, the Washington Post published a report on how Ukraine's intelligence services were capable of carrying out assassinations inside Russia thanks to the support they have from the CIA. Now, on top of that, the U.S. just helped Ukraine carry out a terrorist attack on civilian buildings, flying drones into apartment buildings. I know people say, well, there were shellings, of civilian buildings in Ukraine. Yeah, but they're not intentionally targeting civilian targets. They're actually, it's pretty crazy. The Ukraine is actually a terrorist state. And people that still support Ukraine today, and sometimes you got to realize the United States sort of acts as a bad guy overall in the global, war machine. Not that Americans are bad, but just the United States, the deep state. Biden isn't even running the presidency yet. We're attacking Yemen right now tonight. Why does the war machine continue to go despite Americans, not even really knowing who's in charge of their country? And that being said, Hawk Tuah girl Hailey Welch breaks silence on the lawsuit after her fans lost hundreds of millions in a crypto scam. Check this out. I'd like to just go down here. She recently caused her fans to lose a lot of money, but she said this: I take the situation extremely seriously and want to address my fans, the investors who have been affected, and the broader community. I'm fully cooperating with and am committed to assisting the legal team representing the individuals impacted, as well as to help uncover the truth, hold the responsible parties accountable, and resolve the matter. And you got to read the rest of that story there on our website. It's crazy. So she basically robbed millions of dollars from her fans and then says it's not her fault. But what really happened? You can read the full story there. Don't forget also too to join the mug club at thegatewaypundit.com. You get this nice heavy weighty mug. It's not a cheap mug. It's embossed. It has a good feel. It's got a big handle. It's great for the morning. You join the club, you get access to exclusive content. Plus, you also get to join the community and help support and keep independent media and journalism alive. I'm Elijah Schaffer. Have a great rest of the week as always, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.